Hey guys, welcome back to Meaty-Glish. I'm your host Joel Valley, and I'm here with my co-host
Cody here.
That's right, man. You are.
My last name's here.
Yeah, it is. It looks like you got a little unicorn growing out of your head, man.
I got shot.
Dude, you know, Michael, I was heating up my lunch here at Meaty-Glish because I come from one job, go to the next. I spilt the whole thing.
What?
Dude, it sucked. It was horrible.
What do you
Lost all my lunch, man. Or supper.
Wait, dinner.
It's supper because it's nighttime.
Yeah. Supper.
Anyway, that's neither here or there. Let's talk about a game called Forgotten Worlds. It's level bosses. If you don't know, level bosses is when I play through a game and I show you guys all the level bosses that are in the game because I love level bosses.
Right.
And then at the end I pick my favorite one. Okay. And then you guys at home can pick your favorite one too. Mm-hmm. And Forgotten Worlds is an amazing game. Let's get into it. Michael, do you remember Forgotten Worlds? You don't remember? He's in the sound booth. We don't have a camera to cut to him today because I forgot that one.
I don't remember.
You don't remember it either? No. Forgotten Worlds, man. This is a classic, man. I used to play this all the time on the Sega Genesis. Mm-hmm. You know what the Sega Genesis is, Cody?
Yeah, it's a system.
Yes, it is a system. And here we have it in the glorious 60 frames per second. You know all about that, don't you, Cody?
Oh yeah, Call of Duty high.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Call of Duty, but yes. And we're also going to look at the arcade version because the arcade version has different level bosses than the Sega Genesis version. So it's very interesting. We're also going to look at the masterpiece, which is on the Sega Master System, Forgotten Worlds, because we'll see that. And here we have the shop lady. Everyone loves the shop lady.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you can see what she looks like. And when I was a kid, I was like, oh, she's so pretty. You know? And there she is, the Sega Master System, right?
Master.
So
Peace.
This is a good game. This is a classic. I love this game. I owned this game when I was younger. And so there's a lot of bosses to cover. So let's get into it. Okay, let's look at the first level boss here. And we have this like alien sphincter type of thing.
What?
That shoots out these. It's guarded by this metal balls. I don't know. They're junk of some sort. Right? This is the Sega Genesis version we're looking at. Now, in the arcade, you can see the sphincter is contracting a lot better. But you also see that it's actually like a cybernetic space garbage. Okay. Right? Why they couldn't do that on the Sega Genesis? I don't know. Why did they just do those little balls? Because look at the Sega Master System. They do it. They make the space garbage. Why can't it be on the Sega Genesis? Anyway, you do that. You blow it up where the sun don't shine. You move on to the next one. Now, this one right here is a big dragon. We're looking at the arcade version. Now, this dragon is awesome. Look how big this level boss is. This is awesome. You have his guts that are already kind of open. His ribs are his weapons. He's got a claw that comes out, a tail in the back. He breathes fire. He shoots out guys out of his mouth. They shoot at you. There is a lot of stuff going on here.
He looks lazy.
Lazy? He is lazy, yeah, for sure. Now, we're going to look at the Sega Genesis. You lose a lot on the Sega Genesis. You just get kind of a neck. There's those ball necks. Why do they do ball necks, Michael? I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, unfortunately, we lost a lot coming to the Sega Genesis. But on the Sega Master System, we didn't even get it at all. They just skipped that boss. They combined 2 levels, and then they jump right to this boss right here. Now, this is the Sega Genesis version we're watching. You see the guy. He's kneeling. He's worshiping his deity, his god. And that's who you're going to fight. Okay?
Okay.
And this right here, when I seen this on the Sega Genesis, I was just like, wow. This is amazing. He's gigantic. The arms are coming out, you know? He's shooting out like blue balls. That's horrible. Shooting out blue balls out of his eyeballs. You know what I mean? And like, look how big this is. I like big bosses. You know that, right?
Yeah, you like big.
So you gotta shoot him in his mouth, shoot him in his face, shoot him in the abs. Now check it out on the arcade. The background, everything's there, man. You can clearly see he's praying to that god. But as you go up in the arcade, man, dude, you already see his thighs, his package. That's when the battle starts. You already got to start shooting that. You know what I mean? And then you start taking out. You got to take out everything this time around. You got to take out the abs. You got to take out the package. You got to take out everything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And man, this is awesome. This is what a level boss. Look how big that level boss is. You know, and it makes you feel so BA because the sounds. When you finally do kill the boss, listen to this. It's like the most explosions you'll ever hear in a game. The Sega Genesis tried to do it, but they didn't pull it off.
Of course not.
And then here we have it on the Sega Master System. Remember, guys, this is 8-bit. This really, really shows the power that the Sega Master System had at the time, because it was still able to keep up with the arcade. Not a bad port right here. Okay? Still the explosions, turns red. Pretty cool stuff, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Now that's just the second boss. We'll go through these a little bit faster now. But this right now is where the game starts to get weird. This is where the game starts to break off in different bosses. So bear with me.
Okay.
Try to keep up.
Locked in.
Here we have the arcade version. This is a sub-boss for the next level, okay? It's like a big boat. There's this guy there. But in the Sega Genesis, the sub-boss is this. Okay? It's, what do you call those things? Sphinx?
Okay.
Is that what you call them? You fight the head first, and then in the body this little worm comes out. All right? That's the sub-boss in the Sega Genesis one. And what's crazy is that's actually the level boss in the arcade. So, but on the Sega Genesis, the sub-boss for the arcade is now the level boss.
Yeah.
Probably because it was a lot bigger. And they wanted to feel more. Did I lose you? I thought I might lose some people. Because in the arcade, they just couldn't, or Genesis couldn't do this. Look at how big the Sphinx is here. Look how awesome it is.
Yeah.
So of course, this is the level boss to that. You gotta beat that head, and then you have to, holy moly, you have to kill the snake that comes out of it. This is just not. Oh my gosh, the doble sentido is what we call it in Spanish. But anyway. And here is at least on the Sega Master System, they kept this the boss. They took out the sub-boss. They go right to the boss. But they kept him as the boss, which is kind of cool. You know, you still got the Sphinx, still got the worm. What, you don't like that? Is that not what it's called, the Sphinx? I don't know. Tell me in the comment section below. Now, in the arcade version, this gets its own level and its own boss. This is the only time it appears is on the arcade version. And you have this, what do they call this? Sarcophagus? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Look at his face, gets all demonic. It's crazy looking. It's a good, cool little boss here. You gotta blow it up, it'll open up, expose its like heart, shoot that thing. That's how you kill it. A really cool boss. Now we're back at the Sega Genesis. I gotta give this guy props. He's not a level boss, but he's just cool looking. Here he is in the arcade. I almost wish he was a level boss because he's actually cooler than the level boss you get, which is this thing. Crystals.
What?
What a face. What is that? That doesn't even.
Letdown.
You know for sure that boss ain't winning.
It's not winning for me.
Not at all. And the Sega Master System doesn't even get this level at all. It's just for the Sega Genesis and the arcade. Now, the arcade gets its own whole new level. Again, it's the arcade back in the day. And you get these boys right here. Very interesting. If you look at it, blue and red. They got some nice underwear on. Doing little karate shops there. And they're pretty big bosses. They can do some Hadouken. Hadouken. Alright. You gotta shoot him in his face. The faces blow up. Not too bad. Not too bad. You like that one, don't you, Cody?
Easy enough.
I know. Now, the Sega Master System, this is interesting because it gets its own level in Atlantis and its own unique level boss. Like, this doesn't appear on the arcade. It doesn't appear on the Sega Genesis. It only appears on the Master System. Pretty amazing. It harkens back to, like, Fester's Quest or Blaster Master. I love it. It's so good. Now, that takes us to the last boss. You know, you got your demonic sperm here trying to kill you. Turns into an angel. Now, in all three systems, they're all pretty much look the same. There's some graphical differences. Here's the arcade. That was the Sega Genesis we've seen before. But we got the arcade here. And not too bad. And the Sega Master System actually did well trying to keep up with having this last boss as well. And there's the Sega Master System. 8-bit, man. I just love seeing that stuff. You know? And the cool thing is that it goes black when you fight him in wing form, which is kind of cool. So, not a hard boss either, but not, you know, I don't know. I want a big last level boss, you know? I want it to be epic. There she is. That's your prize at the end. There, that's the arcade, Sega Genesis, Sega Master System. All three. Put the hard work in, kids. You can see this too at some point. I think my asset's over, but it's just frozen. Waiting for it to come back. There we go.
Hey!
Hey, thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. So,
Glitches
now,
around here.
my favorite level boss, obviously, easily, was what one do you think? Were you paying attention?
Yeah, the dragon.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's definitely the deity, the god.
Oh,
the one
yeah,
that
yeah.
you're blowing up all the way.
Where you hit him in the ribs and stuff.
Man, I love that. That thing is one of the biggest bosses in video game history, probably.
Yeah.
It's so gigantic. It takes 2 screens, man. If you play it in the arcade, you gotta fight it all the way up. I think there's other games like that, but I can't think about it.
They're not as cool.
Now this episode of Level Bosses was recommended by our good friend Dustin. He put a comment section. He said do Forgotten World. So if there's a game you guys want me to hit in Level Bosses, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make sure I get to that because this is one of my favorite segments. Not very popular, but
We're building it.
I love it. I love this segment. I don't care if people don't like it. I love talking about Level Bosses.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Got to get those subscribers out there. Thank you so much for watching this. And please let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite boss. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. A lot of information there. Information station.